Hey everyone, it's Dr. Quartell, and I'm back with another golden healthcare nugget. And this time it's about something that happens to me all the time. Every time I'm out talking to people, whether I'm at a dinner party, I'm at the gym, or literally anywhere, when someone finds out that I work with health span, lifespan, and getting people to live longer and healthier, the conversation invariably twists in the same direction. It's like, hey, what's the best supplement that I should be taking right now? What should I look for in my pills? Is there a peptide that makes it all worth it? Which vitamin matters more than all the others? What's the secret one there? And I get it. I mean, these are questions that I try to answer for myself all the time, but they're not really just like the first question that we should be asking. It's really down the line. There are other things we should be looking at first. Now, yes, supplements, peptides, vitamins, they all absolutely do help. I use them too, right? But here's the thing. Supplements should be considered just an accessory, not the outfit. Think about it in terms like this. If supplements are the belt, the hat, the necklace, they're good additions. They help bring the whole outfit together. They're stylish, right? But if you're wearing a belt and a hat and a necklace and that's it, we have a much bigger problem. So if you don't have the belt, you don't have the hat, but you have the rest of the outfit, it might not be accessorized well, but you're going to be just fine. You'll fit in. You'll be able to go outside. So really, before we start obsessing over our supplement stack or wondering like what peptide's going to help us live to 120 years old, we have to ask a much more basic question. It's a very simple question. And it's, what's the basic, fundamental, underlying cause of human health? Where does it come from? How do we build it? It's not in a pill. It's not in a bottle. It's not a lotion or potion. Because if you understand that the foundation is weak, you can't supplement yourself back to health. And if the foundation is strong, you don't need it as much, right? So if we can understand one simple biological truth that helps unlock everything, it helps unlock everything, right? So I sum it up like this. Ducks don't live in the desert. Fish don't live on dry land. Polar bears thrive in the Arctic, and flamingos thrive in tropical wetlands. See, every animal, every plant, every bacteria, every organism is designed for a specific niche in the environment, a specific environment where it thrives, not just lives, but excels and thrives. So then that leads to the next question of, well, what is the best niche for the human body? Where does our body thrive the most? And if you can answer that, everything else becomes surprisingly simple, right? It's not a pill or a potion or a lotion. It's, where do we thrive our best? So let's start with the obvious. Thriving is not sitting in a cubicle underneath fluorescent lights, eating microwave processed foods, doom scrolling on Twitter, right? You probably already knew that, even if it's hard to admit, some things in your life you're doing don't fit in your perfect niche. I know, because I have a hard time doing it too, right? But if we find the niche that humans do best, we can do that if we do a little time travel. Because before we were today, we were hunters and gatherers, living with the land, in the land. It's really only since about the 1800s, last couple hundred years, that there's even been practical use of electricity. But before that, for hundreds of thousands of years, human ancestors, our ancestors, the cavemen, the cave women, they spent their lives moving. They were searching for food. They were adapting to the climate. They were living outside. They were surviving in small community tribes. Our bodies were built for that environment. They were shaped for that environment, genetically, physiologically, and even today, our biology still runs on that same programming. It's baked into our DNA. So if you want to know what your body was built for, just look at what a caveman's day looked like, because that's what your body was built for. That's what we did for hundreds of thousands of years, not just the last couple hundred. There were no chairs, no desks. There were no sedentary jobs, no midnight snacking. There was no doom scrolling, no blue light exposure at 2 a.m. It was just real movement, real food, real sunlight. You slept when it was dark. You woke up when it was light. It's really very simple. And that's the formula. The formula is most simple. That's the foundation. Everything else that we might do, these are the accessories that we add in. So let's break it down, going back to the 5 pillars of health, the dream protocol, the Quartell chiropractic protocol, and focusing on the root, right? So the caveman diet, this was real food. They ate real food all the time, whole, unprocessed plants and animals. Everything was organic. Pesticides didn't exist. Everything was farm to table, regenerative, growing in the wild. All the animal protein was always clean because the animals lived in the forest. They drank clean water. They ate organic vegetables. They were living clean lives. So today, if you want to eat like a caveman, your diet should be loaded with vegetables, organic, minimally processed, when possible, right, within your reason, and animals raised in an environment that's as close to their natural habitat as possible. And then after dinner, well, here's where the rhythm of recovery comes into. Cavemen, like we said before, weren't doom scrolling at 2 a.m. When the sun went down, their life tended to slow down as well. And when the sun came up, life started all over again. You hear birds that wake up in the morning, right? Humans did too. Our biology still runs on those exact same rhythms. Our daily rhythms are tied to our biology, our DNA cycles. So when we fight those rhythms, what we're programmed with, the blue light until midnight, irregular sleep patterns, constant artificial stimulation coming at you all the time, we reduce our ability to recover. So align your sleep cycle and wake cycle with the sun as much as you can. Start winding down when it's dark and start your day when it becomes light. This leads to better recovery, better energy. And this brings us to the energy of metabolism and our movement patterns, how our body processes our foods and creates energy, right? So hunters and gatherers, they moved all day. They were walking and foraging and climbing and digging and carrying and doing activity all day long. This movement wasn't for exercise. We were like, oh, I got to get up and exercise. No, it was necessary for survival. This is how they were able to make it through the day. The constant movement is what your body needs to stimulate energy production at the cellular level because this is what we were programmed for. It's what keeps our metabolism humming. Cavemen built muscle without the gyms. They didn't go to a gym because they were digging for roots. They were climbing for fruits. They were running from predators. They were building shelters. This was their normal daily life, and this made them strong and healthy, gave them energy. It built strength and endurance. These weren't optional things. They were necessary for the survival for cavemen, just like they're necessary for survival for us for today, for health span and lifespan. That you can help to mimic that caveman lifestyle by doing challenging exercise on a regular basis. And activity also serves another purpose. It helps to improve mental resilience. Although cavemen had stress, it was usually short-lived. They were either dealing with a predator, maybe there was a storm, but then their stressors tend to pass. Cavemen weren't exposed to a 24/7 news cycle of social media, outrage, constant notifications, rage-baiting economics. Their world was very small. Their concerns were local. And this helped to keep the mental resilience intact because it wasn't overload. They reduced the information overload. Today, reducing it isn't a weakness, it's a biological alignment. Give your brain a break. Align it with the environment that it was built for. So here's a takeaway if you want to try this. Understand that our bodies are evolved to use our environment to build health. Sunlight builds vitamin D production. Movement builds strength and endurance. Clean food builds better nutrition and better resources for bodybuilding. Rest allows you time for repair. But the further we drift away from that environment, the more we slide toward degeneration. It's a very easy equation to understand. So before you worry about vitamin C, the vitamin E, the perfect green drink, what minerals should I be taking, and the peptide, ask yourself this. Does my daily life look like something that a caveman would recognize? Am I eating real food? Am I moving my body? Am I sleeping with the rhythm of the sun? Am I limiting the mental noise? Because if the foundation is solid, if what you're building upon is solid, if the outfit is complete, then the accessories, they work, they enhance. Supplements become the finishing touch, not the desperate Band-Aid. The accessories finish the outfit, the supplements finish the lifestyle. So start small. Pick one thing that would be like caveman approved. Maybe it's turning off screens an hour before bedtime. Swap the protein bar for actual food. Maybe take a 20-minute walk in the morning sun. build the outfit first, then add the accessory. Once again, thanks for listening. Don't forget to check us out on social media. Find us online at quartellchiropractic.com. Send us an email at quartellchiropractic@gmail.com. Or even give us a call. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any suggestions on further videos, or you want an upcoming topic or something to see, please share it. Love to hear from you. Talk to you soon.